Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Cambo Campbell.
Can I tell you something I am excited for?
Oh, okay, yep.
We are approaching episode 361.
Mm-hmm.
In a few episodes' time, we're at 365, which means if someone theoretically starts this podcast and listens to one episode a day, we can waste a year of someone's life.
They should... Well, we can waste a portion of somebody's day
For a year.
for a year.
Yeah.
Because, Cambo, I don't want to cheapen the milestone where we have enough hours to fill an entire year where we can ruin someone's entire year.
Yeah.
It's coming. We're building
But
up
I
there.
feel like once you listen to the episode, we've ruined your day.
Yeah.
So ipso facto, one a day, we've ruined a year.
True. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And write in if you're the first person. We'll do the math, though. Don't you think that we won't?
Yeah.
All right. As soon as we leave...
That's true. You can start now because by the time you catch up, we will already have 365.
Oh, that's true.
Actually, probably could have started some time ago.
No, wait. I want to avoid those ones.
Okay.
You can only start when...
365
is out. All right, Campbell, let's get into it. This first one is in the subreddit Made Me Smile, and it was posted by United Lab 6476. Before I get into this, for any new listeners, just so you know, we like to do cold topics, and this is one of those cases where this actually came out ages ago.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you do not tune into this show for breaking news.
Yeah.
It's more of a reflective news.
Yeah,
It's happened. People have assessed it, so
We've
we'll
spoken
reflect on
about it at length.
Yeah.
And we're like...
We are number one in reflective news.
Yeah, that's right. You remember when that thing happened? They'd be like, oh, yeah. And the thing is, sometimes that's good for like really old stuff. That's the History Channel.
People reflect on the disaster of the Hindenburg.
Yeah, for example.
Yeah.
But as is like just as it's out of kind of the eyes of social media,
You know,
we're like, we'll bring that back up again.
you know when you've got a song in your head
Yeah.
and then you think you've got the song out of your head and then someone sings it, it's back in your head?
Yeah.
That's what we do to news.
That happened to me with Uptown Funk.
Yeah. Thought you had another point there, but okay.
I was going to continue on, but then... Anyway.
But why?
Anyway,
Yeah.
but why? Okay. This is my... I've already said that stuff. Didn't make me smile. So anyway. The moment Post Malone bought the One Ring Magic the Gathering card for $2 million. And there's video of what it says.
Well, yeah,
Post Malone buying a One Ring Magic the Gathering card. So I guess for those people who don't know, because I didn't know, the Magic the Gathering have done a deal with the Tolkien franchise of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and whatnot, created a bunch of cards, and there is only one The Ring,
One Ring,
card.
And it actually can control armies, and like it really is as powerful as the One Rings. They should not have made it.
Yeah. It's a really dumb card. If Post Malone goes into entering Magic the Gathering tournaments, which he probably would, then...
But not even in Magic the Gathering. In the real world, it can destroy civilizations. It corrupts. Post Malone will be corrupted, no doubt.
Actually, can we just like pause and talk about that for a second?
Sure.
Because I'm sure it explains it better in the books. But in the movies, I feel like there isn't... they don't go to great length to explain exactly what it does.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, it's super powerful. And we're all just like, okay, I guess so. If you say so, then I'll have to believe you.
Yeah.
Because all it does at the moment is turn Frodo invisible.
There's a vague notion that it kind of bends people to its will. Like when people see it, they suddenly are like, oh, I love the ring.
Yeah.
But
then that's about the ring. It's not even about the person. It's not like Gollum starts following Frodo.
he does.
Well, but it's because he wants the ring.
Yeah.
He's not like, I suddenly support your ideals.
Yeah.
I think it's dumb.
Yep.
It's dumb idea.
Anyway, this guy, this guy pulled this ring out of a random pack.
Yeah.
And there's a video of it online where he's visibly shaking.
Yeah.
He's holding this card that he knows is worth $2 million. Because even before he pulled it, like everyone, the valuation of this was like, it's worth a chunk of change.
Yeah.
And he's holding this card, shaking visibly as he like turns it in his hands to like check the authentication and whatever. Apparently had then sent in to be graded to make sure it's legit and whatnot.
Yeah.
What a nerve-wracking like week that must have been.
Yeah.
To be like, I'm just about to be rich.
Yeah.
But I can still fuck this up.
I need to go through several steps and
Get me Post Malone.
Yeah. It's like, how do you even do that? Well, I guess you post a TikTok video.
Yeah.
That would be a really nerve-wracking thing to know that you're so close to.
I find it funny, by the way. I did find the original TikTok this came from. And obviously this person in shock, shaking in the video or whatever. But the caption says, "Look what I pulled. Let's go." I think that's an understatement.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Retitle that.
I'd be like, I ditch all my friends.
Yeah. Exactly.
None of you mean anything to me anymore.
Yeah. If you're reading this, we're no longer friends. Post Malone is now my only friend.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I am so surprised by the communities that collect cards in particular.
Yeah.
Because it's such an interesting, like originally, right? When like collectors find that thing they love to collect, it in general started because there was like misprints of stuff and it made unique copies of things. And then that became like sort of the interesting part of the collection. But what's so interesting, I feel like these days, and, you know, obviously Pokemon does the same thing and they're very specifically doing it here with the One Ring, is they're like, we're going to make one. We're going to let everybody know that there's barely any of these. It's like this fake kind of hype about the cards themselves.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, the example I'm probably most familiar with is Action Comics #1.
Yeah.
It's the first ever Superman comic. And the only reason it's worth so much is because when it was published in like 1932, people just throw them out.
Yeah. It's not important.
Suddenly you accidentally have this piece of history that decades later turned out to be significant.
Yeah.
And there's so few of them left that it's now valuable.
Yeah.
But you're right, this one, they were like, this will be valuable.
Yeah.
We will make sure this is valuable.
Yeah.
What's the print cost on that, do you reckon?
Oh my God. It'd be literal cents. Like,
I mean,
even
like
with the foil
it's got like a
stamping
gold
and stuff.
foil.
Yeah.
At most, if they had to do a one-off printing just for it, $1.80.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I've looked into printing cards, funnily enough, and you have to print a whole. Oh no, but still probably not. I mean, they're such a big company.
Let's say though they actually had to technically print 200 of them, but then they just had to burn the other 199. Oh, they haven't. They've got them in a vault, and they'll release them again whenever they need another.
Like, did we say one? We actually meant two.
It's now called the 2 ring.
Yeah. Well, aren't they? Do you know if they created more ring cards? Because in the books in the story, there's meant to be each civilization kind of has different rings,
like the dwarves and the men and the elves.
Had 9 and whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about Magic the Gathering other than this guy.
Oh wait, Camber, I've got a packet here. Oh my God, I've got all the other human rings. Post Malone, if you're listening. I can up your collection.
We'll take 100,000 for that.
Yeah.
We know it's not. We know it's not the One Ring.
Yeah.
We know there's 9 of them. So, but there's only 9.
We know
of them Post. If that is your real name.
I think it is.
Yeah.
They. That's where they found him. Yeah. Anyway.
That's nice though. There's this random dude just suddenly he's $2 million richer. You know what? Don't have that card anymore. Though,
yeah.
So I actually thought the card was cooler than the $2 million.
Yeah. I think it's cool. But do you reckon there's that person that's like the rich guy in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory who just had like a factory of people opening cards?
Yeah, you know who that boy was? Post Malone.
Yeah. And then he fired everyone when they didn't open it.
Yeah.
And
He spent $8 million.
It's a very heavy investment. Do you think how much? Okay, this is another question. How much do you think that card is worth now that Post Malone bought it? It's $2 million. He bought it for $2 million.
Question.
If he goes to sell it,
Yeah.
how much is he getting?
Yeah. So if he can get 2.5.
I reckon he could get 2.5.
Yeah. So he's
I reckon
actually
the very
making
next
profit.
day he could have been like, "This is the One Ring, and I, Post
Yeah.
Malone, owned it."
Who would he need to sell it to make it even more valuable?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, but like who? It needs to be more Gen Z friendly, I think. Like,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know, Billie Eilish?
Who's
Who's the most famous Gen Z person? This is
It's
bad that
not
we don't
Billie
know.
Eilish, is it? No, but what if you sold it to Frodo? What's his name?
Elijah Wood.
Elijah
Well,
Wood.
Elijah Wood did the promo video for it.
Yeah. I reckon if he got a hold of it and then he sold it
To the reanimated
that?
corpse of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh.
And then he sold it back to Post Malone. And by this point, Nelson, it's up to $3 million.
Anyway, that's our trading card advice.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is by Call Me Vicious. You have 5 minutes to make a man cry using only your words. You are not allowed to lie. If you succeed, you will win $20,000. What are you going to say to him?
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Specifically to make a man cry is interesting.
Yeah. I guess so. Do you reckon you could cry in queue? Like if I was like, hey, if you cry, I'll give you $10,000.
How long do I have?
5 minutes is this?
Yeah,
5
I
minutes
think
to
I
make
can
me-
make myself cry in 5 minutes.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon I'd put on a really, really sad song and I'd just go deep.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah.
Wow, that's like the worst way to make yourself cry.
But I reckon it would
think.
work. If I'm if I'm
Oh.
trying to get $10,000,
Oh my God.
that's
Like,
the way I reckon I would.
who do I know that's died? Who do I know that's
Yeah,
died?
yeah,
Who do I
yeah,
know that's
yeah,
died?
Yeah.
Yeah. J.R.R. Tolkien.
Like I'd be like, oh my sister's kid will never meet my granddad. Like things like that, you know.
Yeah, okay. I reckon I'd struggle to make myself
Oh,
cry
kick
5
him in the
minutes 'cause-
balls. Wait.
Nah, you can't. The words only, mate.
Yeah. I'm gonna kick you in the balls.
Yeah. I reckon if you went to kick somebody in the balls and you just stopped
Yeah.
before you got there, that'd almost make me cry. Just the thought of it.
I'm trying to think of, is there like a movie or something that always gets guys to cry?
Oh, okay. Well, The Notebook, obviously.
Yeah, but what, like, I feel like there are certain movies that are just like quintessential guy movies for better or worse.
Yeah.
Like Fight Club. Every guy's like, I love
yeah.
Fight Club. Is there,
Okay.
what's the version of that a guy's like, have you seen that, man? Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
I think if you say his name was Robert Paulson, if you say that enough, people start crying.
Yeah, that's true.
His name was Robert Paulson.
Like Wilson floating away in Castaway or something. Is that
Yeah. I like the idea actually that the strategy would be like, hey, you know that crush that you had in primary school? She had a crush on you too. That's how you really break a man. There's those moments that he should have seized if he had been more open with his emotion.
Yeah.
That's what breaks a man.
Yeah.
That's what breaks a man. I like these comments below. It's by just two people having a conversation, basically. First one's Mhath. The next one is Hello Friend Internet. It's not your fault. Yeah, I know. It's not your fault. I know. No, it's not your fault. I know. No, you don't. It's not your fault. All right, it's not your fault. And he's crying.
That is a reference
Yeah.
to the movie Good Will
Everybody
Hunting.
gets it, Kimbo.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen
But
Good Will Hunting.
maybe that's the guy movie.
How do you like them apples?
Maybe that's the guy movie that we need.
Oh, that's the point. Yeah. How about Oh Captain, My Captain? Nah,
Nah.
boring.
What about The Flubber's Got Loose from the movie Flubber? I'm just thinking of Robin Williams movie.
Yeah. Patch Adams.
Yeah. Oh, look at me.
No, I'm just naming titles now.
you know how Patch Adams says, "Hey, look at me."
Hey, look at
me.
me. I'm Patch Adams.
Hong Kong, I'm a clown.
You can make me crack a bit.
Bicentennial Man.
Should I read some comments?
Sure.
This one's long. Ugh. Funny you should ask me. Okay, this is by Evian Hellborough. Funny you should ask, because I was just thinking about a story that never fails to bring a tear to my eye. Oh my God, Canberra, this could do it for us. Many years ago, I read an article about how the valedictorian for a graduating high school class was an immigrant who came to the US in the 8th grade. He gave a speech talking about how shy and reserved he was at 14 and how he hadn't managed to make any friends. One day, freshman year, he was heading home when his now best friend, a stranger at the time, stopped him and said he and some buddies were about to play soccer and he was welcome to join them. He then said, "What my friend did not know was that on that day, I was heading home to kill myself. I felt so isolated and alone, I had given up. I knew I would never belong. That small act of kindness changed everything." The moral of your story is basically that you never know what someone is going through or what your small act of kindness could do for them. Apologies, I didn't read that in advance. That was quite dark.
yeah.
But also quite sweet.
Happy,
yeah. Like happy in the end. Yeah, that's true. I think that I don't know the thing that would make me cry, but I think it would have to be something sentimental like that. Somebody would have to tell me like a really lengthy story about. I was actually the other day we had this woman speak at our work. She was giving like a presentation on resilience and stuff, and she was just talking about. It was like one event after the other about her horrible upbringing in life. She was a gay Chinese lady in like traditional China, and then I think, and then was trans in the end. And like, just, I don't know. There was just so many things that she went through, and you're like, this is so heartbreaking that you've gone through like all these things. It's so amazing. And then, but she's so like positive about it in the end. And yeah, it's like those are the stories you need. I feel like.
That's what'll get you.
Or Patch Adams.
Oh,
all right. Let's get into Today I Advice. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Today I learned. And also sometimes advice. This advice is by Specialist Arm 8732. Husband, 30 male, and I, 28 female, opened our relationship. Oh, that is such a better way of putting it, isn't it? Because, sorry, I got distracted. Normally it's like my 30 male husband or my 28 female.
Yeah.
But by changing...
So you appreciate the formatting.
I appreciate the formatting.
Yeah.
That it's like, this is the subject, because they are this old, and I am this old.
Yeah.
And it's better grammatically.
Yeah.
Anyway. Husband, 30 male, and I, 28 female, opened our relationship, and now everything is terrible. My husband and I have been married for 6 years, together for 8. My husband, I'll call him Eric, has always been a really intense person, but he's a good man. When we got together, I noticed he had a much higher sex drive than I did, but I would usually have sex with him when I wasn't in a mood anyway because I love him. He's never vocalized any problems until somewhat recently. I should also mention, just before we got married, we talked about having kids. I'm indifferent to kids, whereas he doesn't want them, so I agreed not to have them. Over the last year, my sex drive has been almost non-existent. I've been checked by doctors and they say nothing is wrong physically, but I should talk to a therapist, which I haven't done yet. I haven't even been able to
I have some advice
just
already
have,
to go on.
Yeah, sex with him, to have sex like I was doing. About 4 months ago, he sat me down and we talked about all this, and he said he needs sex, which I told him I understood, but I can't give that to him right now. We argued for a bit and he ended up sleeping on the couch. In the morning, he suggested we open the relationship. I was heartbroken. He explained that we either give this a try or end the relationship. So I agreed. We set boundaries. No bringing the person to our house ever. No talking about it. Always use protection and regularly get tested. He agreed to all of this. I was actually surprised how okay I was with this as the months moved along. Even when he'd text me that he's going to be late, or when he'd kiss me and tell me he has plans that night, it almost felt like a burden was lifted from me. Well, yesterday my husband sat me down again and said that he said he had something really difficult to tell me. For the last couple of months, he's been seeing this one girl, and she's pregnant.
Oof.
I think I disassociated a little because I heard him talking but couldn't understand the words he was saying. When I came back to reality, I asked him if it was his, and is she keeping it? yes, and yes. And he plans on being in this child's life actively. I asked him who she was, and he told me, it's someone I know. Not well, but I do know who she is. I'm utterly heartbroken. I haven't told family or friends yet. I've asked him not to. I asked him if he wants a divorce. He didn't say no. He's basically leaving it up to me. So I guess my question is, do I cut my losses and move on, or give this marriage another try?
I'd probably cut my losses.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Probably don't worry about it anymore. That would be such a difficult situation. Like, imagine she like agrees to go along with it, and maybe this mistress. Is it still a mistress if it's still like amicable?
Yeah, I think it's just a
other partner.
Yeah.
Is also okay with it. Could you imagine how crazy that life would be? Where like she's like, yeah, I've got a husband, but he's got a child and sort of a partner. Presumably, he's going to be more of a partner to this other way. I don't know. It's such a strange situation to be in.
Absolute dog act for him to be like, you decide if you want a divorce.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Don't put it on this poor woman.
And because I bet you the other partner is like, well, obviously you need to stay with me. Like,
yeah.
Like we need to be a couple now.
Yeah. And he's probably like, I'm trying to get a
divorce. Yeah, exactly. Something where he's just like, it'll be way easier if I'm not the bad guy.
Yeah.
But I'll just get somebody pregnant. It's so nice. And what surprised me actually was her initial like, this was actually a lot like a good situation for me.
Yeah.
I accepted it. It actually wasn't that hard. I was like, that's so rare to experience. Because you know what? I imagine sometimes couples, not that I could ever imagine doing it, but there would be situations, I'm sure, where maybe this is a good solution.
But initially my thought was that people talk about the idea of like a bag fumble, right? Like you got the bag and you fumble.
Yeah.
And this guy got what he wanted, right?
Yeah.
He got the open. But then the fact that he's like, I've been seeing this woman for a year.
Yeah.
And she's pregnant and I want to be actively involved.
Yeah.
He didn't actually fumble the bag. He clearly wants this.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't really part of that. I think that's like the risk, isn't it? If it's like, even if you both agree, like, okay, one person has a higher sex drive, they need to like, you're going to have this open relationship. And even if you trust them, it would be hard, you know, even if you're the person that's having the other relationship. Relationships can develop in so many different ways. Unless you were like paying for sex perhaps every time from like different people, then I feel like you're less likely to have a relationship. This is my tip for anybody going to do this in the future. If you're going to have an open relationship, the other person can only have sex with sex workers. I think that's the key.
You don't want them to play around and catch feelings.
Yeah, there's like less likely for there to be feelings, right? I feel like probably most of the time.
Or you need to hate the person you're having sex with.
Yeah. Either a sex worker or somebody
like,
you despise.
Look at this person. They are so annoying. Go nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely go nuts over there.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, it's such a funny thing. Do you know, I've heard about this thing recently, actually. It's called bedroom divorce. Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But the idea is that partners sleep in separate beds.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, and I think they were trying to indicate quite a lot of cases, it's actually saved a lot of relationships.
Okay.
And I imagine it's probably a few things, but maybe there is like you know, I sort of understand this idea, right? That relationships almost seem like an unnatural thing in the world, right? Like if you look at animals, there are some that have a mate for life, but it's not the more common thing. So it kind of seems like we are also in this category that if you look at nature versus nurture sort of thing, the nature side of us is like, we don't necessarily need relationships. It's more the nurture side of things. And so I think sometimes we've like boxed ourselves into what a relationship needs to be. And don't get me wrong, like my partner, and don't ever want to leave her. I want to be with her all the time. But I think that if it ever got to the point that we were arguing a lot or whatever, you know, had some problems, I think sometimes you need to explore these ideas of like, what if we just slept in different rooms?
Yeah.
Would that like ease our relationship?
Is that
a little
so
bit?
you're saying that little bit of space,
Yeah.
even just when you're at night, kind of whatever, that might even be helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Because like,
if things are going poorly.
if things are going poorly, I shouldn't forget. But yeah, it's like I don't know. I just think it's funny when you consider, like we consider this sort of wrong. I mean, really, the end part is wrong. But maybe there are different solutions that we don't generally explore as a society because we have these like unspoken rules about what relationships should be.
Do you think the whole thing with like an open relationship with like, look, we can do it, but don't tell me anything, I don't want to know about it, etc., is a sign that you shouldn't be doing it?
Yeah,
maybe
I
an
think
open relationship
so.
should be like, I do not mind that you're doing this.
Yeah, it needs to be in a different.
So if someone's like, as long as I can deny that it's happening
to
myself, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, that's probably not the right circumstance. Anywho, but like definitely in this case, like divorce him.
Yeah.
Get rid of this son of a bitch that had a kid with somebody else. All right, let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Here's Demons. I'm assuming that's how it's meant to be pronounced. Is it like, here they are?
Hey, here's some demons.
Not, I hear demons. Here's demons. The family you create.
Spelled differently, obviously.
Yeah.
To be clear, it's right HEARS in the username.
Yeah, but they didn't know that, can they? The family you create is more important than the family you come from.
Yeah, that's like the plot of any sitcom.
Yeah. Have you not seen Friends, guys?
Yeah.
But
That's someone having it like, I think this person's young. And maybe they just started a job or something and they realize, I'm really close friends with all these people that I'm working with or something.
I thought maybe they just played a lot of The Sims.
Oh, they've played
like,
a lot of The Sims.
I've spent so long
creating this family.
And my brother's a dropkick, so that's why
They clearly haven't watched any of the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh yeah, guys, family is everything. No, but there's some of them actually are family.
Yeah, but then the other ones
ruins the message.
No real family.
It's muddying the waters. Real family sucks. That should be the new thing. That would be really funny actually if you explored more of Dom's life. And he's like, I don't know if this has already been brought up, but he's got like a really horrible relationship with his mother or something like that. Wait, is she in it? Who's the old lady that they...
I think that's supposed to be his grandma.
Oh, yeah.
But...
Have a bit about his mum being like real.
How old do you think you are?
Yeah. Yeah. The years do not add up. Oh, what, did she have you at 12? Come on. Okay, there's another one. This is by Love Doopy. Some people go their entire lives without calling the cops. Have you called the cops?
No, not emergency. Like not 000 or in America, 911.
Yeah.
I've called police stations.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Yeah. You asked them if their fridge is running.
Someone stole my number plates from my car.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I called the police station and had to report it and whatever. But I didn't call in the sense that you're calling the cops to get them to come and help you.
Yeah. I remember... Well, actually, I had something stolen and I went into a police station. That's not as exciting.
But it's just quite late at night. So I was almost ringing to be like, you there? Can I come in?
Do you guys go to sleep? I don't get how this works.
It was after a late shift when I came out.
Yeah. I called the cops once in my youth.
Just quickly on that, I remember they were like, but what you should do is get the anti-theft screws. And I was like, why aren't they standard? These are readily available and inexpensive. Why are these not standard? Sorry, go on.
Yeah. And like terrible advice after they've been installed.
Yeah, clearly I didn't know about these before.
yeah. So in my youth, embarrassingly, I would say I was probably 16. I called the cops, and I don't think it was 000, or at least I hope it wasn't, and had blocked that out if I did. But it was because I was super jealous. Super jealous of this girl I liked. Maybe we were even like sort of dating at the time, but she was having a party that I wasn't invited to because it was a different school that she went to. So it was all other school friends and stuff, and they were drinking underage, Cambo. Can you believe that? And so I called the cops, and I was like, hey, I'm just really worried about this party. I've heard from an anonymous source that there's underage drinking. And you know what? Unlike from what I've seen in movies and TV shows in the States, the cops kick down the door and bust up any underage drinking.
And all the kids run. They drop their red cups and they all run.
Yeah. In Australia, if you're on private property, they can't get you for underage drinking. Yeah. Because it's like implied that there might even be laws like if guardians there or something, you're legally allowed to. So there's no even if they know, they can't actually break it up.
Yeah, it's like in a licensed venue, you can technically have a drink underage with a fully purchased meal. Like there's all these
that's
weird
right,
loopholes.
And
we're far less stringent about drinking than America's quite conservative. Like even just the drinking age, for example.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like 21.
Yeah.
We're here, it's 10.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. We still drink younger than that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I was 8 at the time. And so it was funny because they're like, all right, well, like, I remember the guy even saying,
are you jealous?
Are you? Yeah, he said something like that. Like, are you like a jealous ex-boyfriend or something like that? Yeah. And I was like, no.
You fucking nerd? You fucking little jealous nerd?
And then, and I think in the end he was like, all right, well, we can like do a drive-by. But like, that's it. Yeah. That's all they can do. Yeah. And like, if they're on the street drinking, then we can stop them. Yeah. But there was like literally nothing else they can do. Anyway, that's just one time I remember calling the cops. And now, because of how embarrassing that was, I will never call the cops no matter what situation I'm in.
Someone's murdering you. Yeah. You're like, oh, I don't want to be embarrassed.
I really wish I could get you guys right now.
I'm being murdered. You jealous? You little jealous, boy?
Oh, no, he's got me. Anywho, let's get into podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing, and we do it ourselves. This week, I've got a bit of a game, perhaps something similar to maybe something we've done before, but not exactly, I think.
Well, to be fair, mine was very similar to what I've done before last week.
It was the same. Yeah. I have got a bunch of movies here, I think. 20-ish? No, maybe. I don't know. I've got some movies here.
Yep.
And originally I was going to do what's the most famous line from that movie.
Okay.
You have to guess it.
Yep.
And while some might be like that, what I did instead was, what's the line that jumps out to me when I think of that?
Okay, so I need to get into your mind.
You need to get into my mind.
Okay.
But also, you know what? Actually, I think what might even work better is if you say the line that jumps into your mind.
Okay.
And we'll see, because sometimes I found on a couple of these, I was like, this is such a random line that like it's nowhere near the standard one. There are a lot of standard ones, just by the way.
Movie quote association.
Yes, movie quote association.
Do you have your one and the one that seems to be the consensus?
No, I didn't. But some of them will be, I think, obvious and the same. So even if I tell you what my one was, we can perhaps discuss what the...
Oh, what a segment.
Yeah. Okay, so the first movie is Terminator 2.
Yep. I love at the start of Terminator 2, this is what sticks in my mind, where it says Carol Co. Pictures presents. I always think of that.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple of options. I think Hasta La Vista Baby is the classic, because it's not in the original Terminator. It's in Terminator 2.
Right.
The original Terminator has I'll Be Back.
Yes, that's what I've put. I'll be back. That's
And
my
he does say it in Terminator 2, to be fair.
Yeah.
But the original line from Terminator 2 is "Hasta la vista, baby."
hasta la vista. Funny that you say that because okay, so for some of these, when I started doing it,
Yeah.
I was looking at the most common one, and it was hasta la vista.
Yes.
For that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I would also say I think of the line, I think there's something wrong with Wolfie.
oh really? Yeah.
No. I would definitely think of "Hasta la vista, baby."
For some reason, sometimes I couldn't think of the exact line, but for whatever reason, and it was probably because of the age that I was when I watched Terminator 2, the scene that comes to mind is the scene where he cuts open his arm.
Yep.
Just shows Sarah Connor that he's, a robot.
Yep.
And whoever the kid is, there's other kids there, and he goes, "Oh, like come with me" or whatever. That line in my head, like that moment,
Right.
is what I remember when somebody says Terminator 2. It's such a weird sort of thing.
Fun fact about Terminator 2, that was made in 92. And there's obviously the liquid metal effect. But at one point, Linda Hamilton plays Sarah Connor. The liquid metal Terminator becomes her, and there's two of her in a shot. And the way they achieved it in 92 is really interesting. Do you have any guesses how they did it?
So that it would have been film, obviously. So can I ask a question first because I can't exactly remember the scene?
Yep.
Is the camera moving?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, I suppose they're not doing any...
I'm going to say, think of the easiest way to do it you could think of.
Oh, well, then there would be like a double.
She has an identical twin.
Oh, yes, identical twin. Okay, all right.
It's the easy. He's like, oh, yeah, that works out really well.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay. Okay, next one. A Few Good Men.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, that's what I put. Does anybody remember any other line from that film? I don't think so.
Only from
Is there an objection?
Only from that scene.
Yeah. Forrest Gump.
Oh, okay. There could be a few from
Yeah,
Forrest
this
Gump.
one's interesting.
I'm going to say the consensus is probably Run, Forrest, Run.
Yes, that's what I've put.
Yep.
But it actually wasn't the one that came up when I originally...
Life's Like a Box of Chocolates?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was
That was the other one that I was unsure of.
Yeah. Next one. Toy Story.
Toy Story. Okay. I'm going to say... Because really, I think of a line that is in the song, not in the movie, which is You Got a Friend in Me.
Yeah, right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Probably... I think of Woody saying, "You are a toy."
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's what I think of.
Yeah.
To Infinity and Beyond.
To Infinity and Beyond. That's what I put, and I think is the standard response for that one. But yeah, see, I love some of those times where just a weird line sticks in there.
Yeah.
You are a toy. Yeah, it's good. The Sixth Sense.
I See Dead People.
That's it. Yeah, I See Dead People. Titanic.
I think it's a misquote. It's I'm flying.
Oh, okay.
Yep. No, sorry. No, wrong scene. King of the World.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the King of the World. Yeah.
I'm the king of the world. Yes.
But
Another common one is, hey, hop up on this door.
She says, Jack, I'm flying.
Okay.
You know how it's like Luke, I'm your father is technically wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like you're giving context to it.
Yeah. The Shining.
The Shining is here's Johnny.
Yeah. That's what I put.
Yeah.
But I feel like it could have been all work and no play.
Yeah.
Jack
And I also thought of
pudding.
Red Rum.
Yeah. Oh, Red Rum, of course.
Yeah.
Red Rum, yep. The Dark Knight. Now, you will not get the one that I have put down.
Okay, let me try and guess that one. Is it back at Gotham Central, the Joker's gone?
No.
My favorite RDR line on that.
No.
If you because obviously it's Why So Serious? It would be the consensus.
I think that's the standard one. Yeah.
Is yours? Want to see a magic trick?
No. Mine is so much. I will give you a hint. It's
Is it Alfred?
It's at the start scene of the film.
Okay.
Or during the bank job.
Okay. Is it? Whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Excellent line too. Still not the one.
Still not it. Is it? I killed a bus driver.
No. I killed a bus driver. So dumb that that's the one that if anybody mentions that film, I'm like, oh, that famous line where he says, no, I killed the bus driver.
I think of the line from Alfred, bright yellow Lamborghini, much more so.
Yeah. Also I thought another one for that. Actually, it does come to mind, but I forget the entire quote. That's like when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. I feel like that's a really common one too. This one you also won't get probably from Spider-Man.
The original,
the
2002 Spider-Man.
Yes,
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, yes, Spider-Man.
Is it? I don't want to fight you, Flash. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to fight me neither.
No, but that's a good line.
Thanks.
Is that the one that comes to your head?
I guess.
Yeah. That's
That's
good.
the first one I said.
That's good. No, mine is we'll meet again, Spider-Man. Such a good line. Good line in that it's so cheesy. It's the worst.
It's like proper Power Rangers stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like that one's going to be with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah. Dirty Dancing.
Nobody puts a baby in the corner.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I get.
I've never seen that, by the way.
Oh, really? Yeah. I watched it. I've watched that movie an unbelievable amount of times. I kid you not, because my sister, we had it on VHS.
Yeah.
And that was like my sister's go-to movie.
Right.
So I just watched it so many times. Yeah.
I only found it recently-ish, like a couple of years ago, set in the 50s. Did not know that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. You won't get this one either.
Okay.
A Bug's Life.
A Bug's Life. Is it?
Mine's not even words, actually. I'll give you that as a hint.
Oh, is it like tuck and roll?
Oh,
Don't they just go, Hada!
Yes. It is from them.
Okay.
But
I can't think of what they
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know.
Well, what's yours first, and then
I think of Heimlich the caterpillar. I thought this was very funny as a kid.
Oh yes, I reckon.
At the end, when they're flying off, and he says, "You all look like little ants from up here."
Yes, that's good.
That's very funny.
Or the line, "I am a beautiful butterfly."
Yes,
That's a good one. No,
Can I say we had a VHS copy of that had multiple covers, and I had the Heimlich cover.
That's cool. I did also have a VHS copy of that and watched that movie religiously
Me too.
The line that I've got from Duck and Roll is it's actually, I think, in the credits they did like fake outtakes.
Yeah. Wow, that is obscure.
This is the line. They go uppity hey, because what happens is he like throws the other one in the air, and he's waiting for him to like come back down, but he's like, I don't know, throwing him away.
Wow.
That's what I think.
Yeah, there was no chance I was getting that.
Yeah. The Shawshank Redemption.
It's got to be. Well, we watched this recently, and we messaged a friend of ours. Said we're watching The Shawshank Redemption, and he just texted back, "Brooks was here."
Oh, really?
I was like, okay, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I would say the quote that I put is in a similar vein.
Get busy living on, get busy dying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which I feel like is probably going to be
I feel like that's the one, right?
Probably the one. Yeah. But also just Morgan Freeman saying Andy Dufresne. It's just
when
like
I
classic
first
as
met
well.
Andy Dufresne.
Yeah.
Can I just say, it's a cliche, that movie at this point, right? Everyone's like, I love The Shawshank Redemption. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's like a cliche. Anyway, so I watched it recently for the first time in a while.
Yep.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? It's
good.
really well done. Yeah, it's a great
I remember
film.
I know how cliche this sounds
Yeah,
to say this is
exactly.
a really good movie, but it's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like the test, isn't it?
Yeah.
To go back to something and be like, do I still like? Oh, yeah, it's still really good. Yeah. Okay. The Lion King.
Lion King would probably be. See, I thought Hakuna Matata.
That's what I've gone
Yeah.
with. But surely that's not the main one, do you think?
But what would it be?
I think a Wimbaway.
I think it's people going, can you feel the love tonight?
Yes, true.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not a line that people think of the iconic shot. of holding Simba
Holding
up.
Simba. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's my
And
next podnapping.
Is the famous line at the beginning? Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually like such a good.
I'm sure people are screaming a famous Lion King line. By the way,
Yeah.
that's not coming to me.
Can't Wait to Be King.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the song. I don't know. Anyway, Lord of the Rings.
Long live the king. When he throws him off. Long live
Oh
the king.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch out for that stampede. It's in the background.
Yeah.
Uh, Lord of the Rings.
Which Lord of the Rings?
I've actually just put the Lord of the Rings.
Rings.
So let's say of all the films,
Yeah.
just what's the first one that comes to mind?
To me, it's probably Fool of a Took. Or I love a Gandalf line.
Yeah.
It's probably One Ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Yeah.
I love when he gets upset at Bilbo and goes, Bilbo Baggins!
Okay, this is very interesting because that was my initial one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I want to find that line.
Yeah.
And I did. And he doesn't do it
No, he doesn't.
anywhere
No,
near as
he doesn't.
characteristic. I reckon you've probably instilled it into my brain that that's how
Yeah.
it's delivered. But he's basically like,
Yeah.
Bilbo Baggins. Like, it's like really.
Not the conjurer of cheap tricks.
Yes, exactly.
Not trying to rob you.
I actually
Trying
had.
to help you.
Yeah. So I didn't put that one in because I felt as though it like wasn't
Yeah.
right, but it kind of was the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
And then the next one that came to my head, but I also couldn't remember exactly. But it's where Sam says, "This is the furthest I've been, and then in the Shire, and if I take one more step."
Yeah.
What a boring line. It's just not even that exciting. But the one that I eventually put down, I was like, no, I know this word is "you shall not pass."
Oh, yes. I would also put my Precious up there.
Yeah, Precious. Yeah, it's good. Okay,
Yeah, you shall not pass the good one.
this one is going to be tricky for you too. Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think of it's between Norrington and Jack Sparrow. Mm-hmm. He says, "You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of." And he says, "But you have heard of me."
Yeah, that's a good
yeah.
line. That's a really good line. For some reason, the line that I think of is when he's like being hit or he's drunk or something and he's been captured by the other pirates and he's trying to say parlay, but he can't get the words out.
Yeah.
And it's just, so all I've written is just parlay because that's basically what he ends up saying.
Yeah.
But that's like the first thing that comes to
I would
mind.
say the famous one that people probably remember is this is the day you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow would probably be
Yes,
the one.
yeah, because that was meant to be his like catchphrase. wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
I also think of Captain Barbossa saying, "Well, you best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner.
Yeah.
You're in one."
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Sorry, that was Jeffrey Rush that just came in and did that.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you weird sex pest.
Yeah. We know your stories. Casino Royale.
I think of The Bitch Is Dead.
Oh, okay.
So he says it right at the very end. It's probably James Bond. Oh.
Yeah, I think it
yeah.
was. The one that sticks out in my mind for this movie is actually, that tongue-in-cheek bit where they say, "You want a martini, shaken or stirred?" And he said, whatever.
No, he
says,
says...
that's what I thought
He's
anyway.
just defibrillated himself. No. Sorry, I'm thinking the wrong thing. He's annoyed. And he says, "Martini." And they say, "Shaken or stirred?" And he says, "Does it look like I give a damn?"
Oh, okay. Well, I've just got that wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't check
You make
that
him
one.
sound way more casual. It's like,
could've-
yeah, whatever. Feel the choice.
I could have sworn that he was just like, whatever. And then that was like the like.
Yeah, no, he's like ignoring them.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, I've just lied on that one. I only have a few more. Okay, quick rounds.
Yep.
Gambo.
Yep.
Independence Day.
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth. That's what I got.
Yeah, and not today is our Independence Day.
The Hunger Games.
May the odds ever be in your favor.
That's a good one. I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, great.
Harry Potter.
Oh no, I'm in dumb shit.
Yeah, he does. Say that.
You're a wizard, Harry.
That's what I've got.
Yeah.
I'm a what?
We should watch that video afterwards.
Yeah. We should. Shrek.
Get out of my swamp.
Okay, yeah. I reckon that must be one of the more common ones.
Something about onions.
Yeah. With layers.
Yeah.
Mine is from Donkey. Blue flowers, red thorns. Blue flowers, red thorns. This would be so much easier if I wasn't colorblind.
Okay. For Donkey, I would have gone with in the morning I'm making waffles.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yes. All right, that was Podnapping. And now it's time for the Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Kind of like Amy.
Kind of like Amy, which actually, by the way, I think is Army, but that's okay.
I'm going to say Amy.
Okay. I literally YouTubed this.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I didn't want to get it wrong. But you've just gone ahead and said Amy. And I obviously didn't tell you about this
thought we
beforehand.
were both going off half-cocked.
Yeah.
But you actually...
I did research.
Yeah. So
but it could still be wrong. I imagine there might be more AMI spellings.
What about Amy?
Yeah, let's go with Amy.
Okay, Amy. Like Amy said. First time writing in, be nice was their header.
Yes.
Probably clearly hearing where someone wrote in quite nicely and we banned them for a month. I don't remember why.
I don't remember why either. I don't know.
It's still in effect though. It might be over by now. Yo, long-time listener here from the UK. I just want to say thanks for all the laughs you guys give me while working night shifts. I listen to your podcast every Monday night without fail. Well, unless I'm on holiday. As much as I enjoy the podcast, I do have much better things to do when I'm off work, lol.
Yeah, that's fair.
Amanda writing in about celebrities you don't like but everyone else really loves got me thinking about Henry Cavill. I know everyone loves him, but I hate him for no reason. I can't explain it. I'm a massive Witcher fan, and when it got announced that he was playing Geralt, I basically cried. What's that?
Is it Gerald?
I don't know. It's probably Amy.
It's probably Amy.
And then he announced he was working on a Warhammer live-action series, which made me double cry. I think it's actually Warhammer, like Hamer.
Or Hamer.
Yeah.
Like Hamer Hall.
Yeah.
In Melbourne.
Yes, like the venue Hamer Hall in Melbourne. I've been into Warhammer hobby for 12 years now, and seeing him in two of my favorite things makes me sad. Anyway, I'm being a tad dramatic. Have either of you ever played Warhammer or have any interest in tabletop games? Also, I'm going to Japan in March for the first time. Have you guys ever been? What would your absolute dream holiday be? Thanks again from Amy, who absolutely hates Henry Cavill. I think it's pronounced.
It's Cavill. Do you know what? Just on the Henry Cavill thing.
Yeah.
I totally get it. There's something about him that I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
There's something
I don't know
about
what
him, and maybe it's the fact that he dates very young women
Oh, okay.
that gives me the ick.
I didn't know that, but now, I'm more
like,
on the ick
not,
side.
not illegally young.
like
I will
Leo
clarify that.
young, where it's like 30 years.
I think when he was like 34, I think he was dating a 19-year-old.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Where it's like, technically
Yeah,
that's fine.
they are
but
an adult to
but
some
what are
degree.
you talking about?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
I also think he seems like, for the most part, a nice enough fella. You know, like he seems to love that he played Superman and whatever. But I don't think he's a very good actor.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Like
too.
I haven't watched. I've watched one episode of The Witcher.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched much of the
And I was like, it's not necessarily for me. I read the first Witcher book, and I remember thinking, like, I guess it's a fair stab at it, but
Yeah, right.
something very Netflixy about it that I didn't like.
Yeah. My experience has been with the games, and I hate the games.
Oh, okay, well, fair enough. But, I mean, they'll be pleased to know that, obviously, Henry is leaving The Witcher, and hopefully they are a big fan of Liam Hemsworth, who will be taking the role from then on.
I actually heard something about that too, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but Henry Cavill, I think, was saying they're ruining The Witcher, and I'm a gamer, and I want... And I don't know if this was validated at all, but I think it was more... Or perhaps I've just assumed it's more like he didn't get the deal that he wanted.
Yeah,
and so
look,
he's trying to go on this high road of like, oh, no, it's about the direction.
I wonder about this as well.
Yeah.
Because Same thing with his Superman. Everyone's like, they screwed him out of Superman.
Yeah.
And they screwed him out of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Does he have a bad agent?
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, are they like, after Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, were they like, here's a hot commodity, you got to pay him $20 million to be Superman again? And they're like, no.
And they're like, no, people get the ick from him.
Yeah. Like, no, that's like Leonardo DiCaprio money. We'll pay him $4 million or something.
Yeah.
Maybe like the boots were too big or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, seems like a nerd. Is there? Yeah. Have we played Warhammer?
I actually have played Warhammer. I imagine you haven't.
No.
I actually played it with some friends.
I thought it was
ages
medieval
ago.
until very recently when I found out that it's like Space Marines and stuff.
Well, there's lots of different types of Warhammer.
But I thought it was all the same.
Right. Yeah. So, well, funnily enough, the first Warhammer that I got introduced to was Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
They actually came out with a set and you had orcs and whatever.
Closest I ever got to doing Warhammer was during the height of Lord of the Rings fever in the early 2000s. They had a magazine subscription service that gave a little tabletop figurines of Lord of the Rings figures and paints.
Yeah,
so you could have a tabletop gaming Lord of the Rings set. And like all of those things, the first issue was like $4.
Yeah. No, the next one
and
is
it was
$150.
it was an elf. Little elf
yeah.
warrior. I was like, God, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. And I got that and I tried to paint it. And then the next like 4 in a row before I canceled were all orcs.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted Aragon, I wanted
Yeah,
Legolas.
you want the cool ones,
No, just different kinds of orcs.
Yeah, that's funny. So it was actually my neighbor and his stepkids. I actually ended up making friends with his stepkids, and anyway, they all got into Warhammer, and he ended up. Oh, sorry, Warhammer, and he ended up getting into it. He's one of those guys that just gets fixated on something.
Yeah.
My neighbor was, and so he ended up building sets, and he bought he built a Sauron tower.
Wow.
And then sold it to Games Workshop for them to sell on, and they were selling it for like $500 or something. But yeah, he got really into, and so they were really good at painting their minis because he put so much effort into it. He would like show them how to do it, and they did a really good job of it. So, but it was funny because I wasn't really that interested in it. I was like, yeah, I get it, but this is nerdy.
Beyond that, together,
I think if I played it now, I'd actually be more interested in it.
It seems like something you would enjoy, I think.
Yeah.
Another expensive hobby, though. D&D drains you enough, I think, of your money.
Yeah, exactly.
And as far as like together, we've had a very, very, very short-lived D&D campaign.
Yes, that's true. I couldn't handle Ben Thompson's accounting skills. Also, we're going.
Have we ever been to Japan? Not as of recording.
We will be very shortly.
Yes, we're actually going to Japan together. I think it's actually pronounced Japan.
Japan. yeah, we're going to Japan.
Yeah.
We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
What would our absolute dream holiday be? Honestly, Japan.
Yeah. Look, we've booked it already. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah. I'm really looking.
We'll give you an update when we're back.
Yeah. So thank you.
How are you going to say it?
For writing in. Amy. It could be Amy.
It could be.
Amy.
And I went with the one that you didn't.
Oh, yeah. What did you?
Amy.
We apologize profusely.
Unless it's a Gaelic name. You know how they look, they sound nothing like how they spell.
Yeah. It's like George or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit readitpodcast, gmail.com. You can also reach us on Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit. They're all READIT podcast. I just went through and like Twitter and stuff. Did I do that last episode?
Probably. We're both so numb to it.
Yeah.
It's X now, Nelson.
Oh, yeah, it's X now. I'm never going to be able to get the end of our show right.
No.
Anyway.
We just need to... what we need to do is, as part of the button that plays the theme, we need to add you doing the outro to that.
Why haven't we done that?
I don't know.
We don't have an intro to the AMA either. Why isn't that? I'm wasting words. Yes, rate the show.
Yep.
Tell a friend.
Yep.
And thanks for listening. We will read you later.